Welcome back to Switcher South Africa. I'm Nicky Nash as always, and today I'm out in George in the Western Cape. We are launching another SUV from Mercedes-Benz, and this time around I'm inside the Mercedes-Benz GLE. So there's two model variants in the GLE range. I'm currently in the GLE 300d. There's the 450d. I'll get into that vehicle in a bit. You will see a clip of my thoughts of that vehicle. But telling you about the 300d, I'm going to tell everything you need to know about the vehicle, from the exterior look at the vehicle, interior look at the vehicle, and my personal thoughts about this 300d. And I'll wrap it up with my personal thoughts of the 450d when I do get a chance to drive that vehicle. So speaking about the exterior look of the vehicle, this is a facelift. It's not a whole new model, unlike the GLC. This is a facelift, and it looks, not exactly, but it does look like the outgoing or pre-facelift GLE, and I like the look of that one. So this one is a facelift. The differences from the exterior look of the vehicle: they've updated the headlamps, of the vehicle. The grille as well has been changed up a bit. Moving to the rear of the vehicle, I do believe the bumper has been changed up a bit, but the main difference in the back is with regards to the tail lights, and they look good. I like it. So it looks more like the newer Mercedes-Benz models. That's with regards to the exterior of the vehicle. When you get into the interior of the vehicle, what you will definitely see in terms of the upgrade is with regards to the steering wheel. So the steering wheel that Mercedes-Benz have put into this one is the steering wheel that we all don't necessarily like. It has to be the one that's found in the C-Class, the GLC, and is the one that has the haptic feedback buttons on. The ones I told you about when I said when you're driving, you're hooning around, your hands will touch and you will turn on certain features you don't want to turn on. But honestly, I like the look of the steering wheel more than anything else. The look of the steering wheel, I like it. I like the look of the steering wheel, the feel of the steering wheel, most importantly, more especially where your hands will be. There's like this perforated steering wheel on the side. Like, it looks so good and it feels so good as well. So I do like that about the vehicle. So now moving on to the drive of the vehicle, I'm in the 300d, and for what it is, it's quite good. It's decent enough. Obviously the 450 will pack a punch, but I'll speak about that when I get it. But this one, the suspension is okay. You do feel the bumps here and there, but for the size of the vehicle, decent enough. You put your foot down, the power is decent. It's not overwhelming power, and it's not power that's out of the world, but it's power that gets the job done. And for someone that's looking to get into the GLE, this is a good starting point. But as I say, it's a good starting point into the GLE range. It doesn't mean it's a good starting point in terms of the pricing of the vehicle. But before that, let me speak about the gearbox found in this one. You get a 9-speed automatic gearbox found in this, and it's smoothless, it's smooth, it's selfless, it's so effortless as well. It gets into the gears, the correct gears, and you put into different drive modes. So now, when I said it's not easy on the eye in terms of the starting, right? Starting price of the Mercedes-Benz GLE 300d is 1.9 million rand. And if you add 15,000 rand or so, you jump into the 7-seater version of it. And it goes all the way up to the 450 that I'll be driving in a bit, which is priced at, wait for it, 2.3 million rand. It is a lot of money, but I'm not surprised looking at the price of the GLC. So now the question that comes into my mind is, if the pricing of this vehicle is this much, then how much is the GLE 53 and the GLE 63 going to cost? And that's a question I'm going to leave to you guys as my esteemed colleagues behind me test out the vehicles. Let me just slow down a bit. You will see a white GLE push on the right hand side of mine. There we go. It's pushing, it's pushing, it's pushing, it's coming. Watch him pass me there. One of my colleagues, and then I follow suit behind. So it's time for me to jump into the GLE 450, and yeah, I'll tell you my thoughts about it. So now you guys join me inside the GLE 450d. So the difference between this one and the one I was driving before this one is the engine, obviously. So that's the 300d, this is the 450d. The 300d, it comes in a 2-liter turbocharged diesel engine with 48 kilowatt volt battery. So that one produces 198 kilowatts and 550 newton meters of torque, whereas this one that I'm in, the 450d, is a very torquey vehicle. So it's a 3-liter turbo diesel V6 producing 270 kilowatts and 750 newton meters of torque. And this isn't the first time I'm driving it. First driving impression, I just got into the vehicle, and off the bat I can tell you it's significantly more powerful and quicker than the 300. You feel the difference, but then I'm going to ask myself the question, is there need for this vehicle? And I'm sure it's a question you guys are asking yourselves, so I'll tell you about that. But before that, I want to touch on some interior bits that I found as I was driving that I didn't mention when I was driving the 300. So in the interior side of things, when you're moving on to the here where the gear lever is normally is, it's not there in the Mercedes Benz, you guys know that, but there's this nice handle that you can hold on to. It's a nice feeling, it's good build quality, and something that I always complained about in Mercedes Benz over the vehicles I've had on test for the past 2 years or so. If you go down to my C-Class video, my GLB video, all of those videos, you'll hear me complain about one thing, is when you open the sunroof. For example, when you're gonna pop it, right? Just open it upwards, and it'll open the whole sunshade first, and then pop it. I see in this one that they've improved on that, so they've listened to me, or listened to whoever complained about it, and it's different now. As you can see on the overplay video, it's much different. It just opens up a little bit to tell you that you have the sunroof popped up, but other than that, that's a big improvement of the vehicle. So moving on to the back seat of the vehicle, there's actually quite some legroom in the car, and there is no disconnect from being at the back and in front. As comfortable it is here in front, is as comfortable at the back as well. I enjoy being at the back of the vehicle as much as I'd love being the driver of the vehicle. I haven't been a passenger at the back, but I've sat in there and I felt how comfortable it is, and I'd like to presume that over a long distance I would be much comfortable. So moving on to the drive of the vehicle, this specific one is a turbo diesel V6 engine. So something that I noticed in the 300, and I'm obviously going to notice it here as well, is with regards to the suspension. It's quite comfortable, but at the same time it's quite floaty. And when I say floaty, is that every bump, you don't necessarily feel it, but you can tell that the bump is there. It handles it well, but on the roads I'm doing back roads. I'm not on the highway, I'm not in the city. It's back roads and country roads, as for my UK, United Kingdom, England subscribers. They are very bouncy because it's not national roads, right? And very we've been doing some mountain passes. So my main problem with that is that it's too floaty. It's not as sharp as I'd like it to be. So when I put my foot flat and I want the vehicle to turn in, it's not turning in as much as I'd want to. I need to put a bit more input to get the vehicle to turn in. And at the same time, when I do that, it doesn't give me the confidence to keep doing it. But at the same time, I'm not going to be too harsh on it because it's not a performance variant of the GLE. But at the same time, I honestly wish it was just a bit more pointier. When I point it in, it should give me that pointiness. So when I've been driving it in comfort mode, I was not enjoying it. I had to put the vehicle into sport so that it gives me a bit more stabilization. It feels a bit more planted, because on comfort mode it's a bit too floaty, built a bit too bumpy, if you guys get what I mean. But that's my first impressions of the vehicle. This specific one is priced at 2.1 million rand, and then there is the coupe, which is priced at 2.3 million rand. And it comes to the question that, is it worth the amount of money? So if you take this vehicle and finance it over a period of 5 years, no deposit, at an interest rate of 12.25%, the monthly premium for this vehicle is on the screen, because I can't remember it off the top of my head. But I'm going to answer that question. Is the GLE 450 a need is it worth it compared to the 350? It depends on the type of person that's buying the vehicle. And when I say depends, let me make it make sense, right? So for someone that's looking to just get into a GLE, right, and you're going to use it for taking the kids on a school run or daily use, those type of things, then there is no need for you to get into the GLE 450, because you will not use it for what it's meant for. Like, you won't use all the power, all the kilowatts, all the torque, right? So the 300 is decent enough. It gets the job done. It'll get to the speed you'd love to get to. So the 450 comes into a point where after this 450, I stand to be corrected. Mercedes-Benz are most probably just going to release a GLE 53, which is a petrol, and a GLE 63S, which is also a petrol. So this might be just the last proper torquey diesel engine that Mercedes-Benz have. So for someone that's going to use the vehicle for long distance and you're going to be towing as well, right? You might need the 450 because it has that extra 200 newton meters of torque, and it has that extra 80 to 90 kilowatts more, so it feels that more punch, so that on when you're traveling and all that, it doesn't feel underpowered. That's for someone what the 450 is for. For the general public, they're gonna buy this vehicle. As we know in South Africa, there's no need for the 450, and I would say don't get the 450. The 300 is decent enough, but then again, the price difference, they are so close to each other, so you might just get the 450. It's the same thing that they did with the GLC 220 and the GLC 220d and GLC 300d. The pricing is so close to each other, it's under 100,000 rand. So why not just get the top of the range or a better engine? So Mercedes-Benz, very strategic with the pricing there, but not strategic with the overall pricing of the vehicle. But I'll speak more about that when I have the car on test, and I'll speak about its competitors, the X5, the new Touareg is going to be launched this year, the Audi Q7s and all those things. But for now, I'm Nicky Nash from Sujo, South Africa. I hope you guys did like the content of the GLE 450 and the 300D. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Keep it locked.